My name is Elizabeth, this is Frizzy Lizzie Stitches, and this is Flosstube number 51. Okay, so it's been a month plus a few weeks probably since my last update, and today is October the 20th, 2023, and I got married. So Bobby and I officially are husband and wife, and I will get into all sorts of wedding stuff toward the end of this video. I definitely want to kind of try to jump back into the swing of things and talk some crafting. I say crafting because there's probably like half stitchy, half knitting, just because my life's been a little bit crazy the past month plus. So yeah, anyway, I figured we could get into it. I'm basically going to jump into my whips first, and then we'll talk. I have some monthly club haul to show you, and then I actually want to talk about some books and some media, like movies. Pretty much just movies. I don't think I've actually been watching any TV shows right now. But yeah, anyway, I wanted to touch on that. And then I think after that, I'll kind of just get into some more nitty-gritty about what I've been up to and all the wedding details. That way, if anybody here doesn't want to hear about my life, you can listen to the crafts. If you like the books, you can listen to the books, and so forth. So I will have everything time-stamped in the description box, so if you want to skip to certain content, or if you're referencing this video later, that will be there for you to use. So anyway, let's just jump right into my projects. All right, the first thing I worked on, I actually do not have with me because it is the round robin that I'm doing with my friends. And so the one that I worked on while, I guess, between last time and now, was Maddie's project, and she is Kitty Stitch over on Instagram, and she chose a pink on pink, which is, you know, trademark Cam's pink on pink. It's Fiber on a Whim. I still don't have the card with me anymore. I think it's Fiber on a Whim Tourmaline, or no, Fiber on a Whim Peony, and then the floss is Dinky Dyes Tourmaline. I think that's what it is. But I will put a picture of it here. Like I said, this is a round robin that I'm doing with my friends. The pattern is Quaker Gardens by Hello from Liz Mathews. And yeah, so I have shipped that off to Megan, and Maddie has sent me Cam's. So now I have Cam's project, which I haven't started working on, but I did get it in the mail the other day. So I'm gonna show that now. This project has been really fun. This will be including my own project, this will be the third one that I've gotten to work on. And let's see here. Cam's is really cool. She's using a Mo-Sail silk, I think is what it's called. And it is so soft. It is like the softest silk I've ever felt. So here's the silk. It's like this beautiful, like hot pink to like raspberry brown color. It's called Cranberry Bread, and the brand is called Mo-Sail Silk, and I think she only sells her silk through her Facebook page, but this is a piece of something else. But yeah, there's the floss, and then here it is stitched up. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So basically the way we're doing this is each girl is stitching a flower. So since this is Cam's project, she stitched the first flower right there, this one, and then Maddie stitched this one right here, and then I will be stitching mine right there. And we are using the alphabet that is charted and putting our initials next to each flower, and we're stitching our initials over one. So yeah, anyway, super cool. The fabric that Cam chose is a 36 count linen from Fiber on a Whim called Kunzite, and I already told you the floss, so whoops. Anyway, so like I said, I got this in the mail the other day, and so this will be kind of a priority for me to finish before, I think we're aiming to do this at the beginning of each month, but obviously with the wedding and the other girls had some stuff come up too. A lot of us kind of shifted it a little bit later. So anyway, but we're doing good so far. So anyway, I'm super excited to stitch with that silk, and the colors are just so pretty stitched up together. So, all right, where am I gonna put this? Okay, I'm just gonna stack it up behind me, and then you will slowly see my desk get messier. Okay, so the only other project or cross stitch project that I worked on between last video and now is Sweetheart Campfire, and I managed to put 1,000 stitches into this project before I left for all my wedding honeymoon festivities. So this is what this project is going to look like, and this is what it would have looked like last time I showed it to you, and this is what mine looks like now. So last time I was working on this, I was working on these diagonals toward the bottom, and so now I have moved my Q-snap up to the top, and I am finishing those diagonals on the top part. So I completed this whole diagonal here, and then I started on the next diagonal, which will then meet up with this one down here. So I do have this called again on my whip go for another 1,000 stitches, but not gonna work on it quite yet because I have another thing I want to work on, which I will tell you about. But yeah, that's how it's coming along. I didn't write down like how many stitches I've done, how many there are, but I think this is like, I want to say I've reached 10%, or if I have it, it's like 9.5 plus something. So anyway, doing pretty good as far as full coverage goes. I feel like 10% is a big milestone for full coverage. So yep, anyway, that's what it looks like. Okay, so that was all my cross stitch. No, it's not a lot. But as I've said, I've been pretty busy. So what I have been doing though is knitting, because knitting is just easier when you're really busy, because I feel like for cross stitch, like I really want to set up, get settled in, have at least an hour to stitch, and that just hasn't been my life so far, or lately. So knitting is a lot faster for me because I'm able to just pick it up, spend like less than 10 minutes on it, and I can stop in the middle at any point and it's fine. So I actually have finished my socks that I have been showing lately, and I don't think I actually brought out like the label. Well, actually the label for it might still be in here. I don't need to show you the yarn because it's all knitted up so you can see it, but as far as it's this Ba yarn Jola that is washing out pretty bad. You can't read that. But anyway, it's 100% superwash merino wool, and the color is called Your Heating Heart. And these are my socks. So I don't have any sock blockers, so you just get to look at it like a wad of fabric. But anyway, my socks are finished, y'all. I think last time I was talking to you, I think I was still working on the first sock, which is this one. And then I started on the second sock pretty much right after I finished the first one. And I finished the second sock while I was on my honeymoon, and then started another pair of socks at the Mexico airport on the way home. So anyway, these are my socks. And I will say this has been an incredible project as far as like getting a good idea of how much you have progressed. I guess like improved. So on my first sock, you can see now, obviously, like just looking at it, it looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. But if you really analyze it, the cuff of this sock is very loose, and it doesn't, and then this side particularly just kind of looks a little bit janky. And then when it came time to Kitchener the toe, I'm not sure how well you're gonna be able to see this, but it looks pretty jagged. I don't know how to say that better. But it's definitely not my best work. Now the second sock, she's a beaut. The cuff is so much better because it actually has some stretch, and it like stretches back after I'm done stretching it. And then the toe looks a lot better on this one than the other one. So for reference, I don't really know how well you're gonna be able to tell, but you can't really tell. Maybe you can, I don't know. I did a lot better on the second sock. That's the moral of the story. But yeah, I loved this project so much. The socks fit perfectly. And I was so excited that I cast on my other set like almost immediately. So I will show you those now. Because that's kind of the last piece of my like whips, I guess. So first off, I went to, I think like the weekend after I filmed my last video, I went to the Wool Gathering, which is like a yarn fiber festival thing. And I bought some sock yarn, and I really wanted to do a contrast cuff, toe, and heel, or heel, toe, cuff, whatever. And so anyway, I found this yarn from this company called Fiber Seed. And so this is what, oh, this is still connected to the, never mind. Anyway, so this is the yarn that I got. It's Fiber Seed. This is their Sprout sock weight, and it is sock fingering weight, and it's 90% merino wool, 10% nylon, and this color is called Unicorn Cheers. And what was really cool is at the festival, they actually, like the local yarn guild actually was there, and they would wind your hanks into balls. So that was really helpful because I do not have a like yarn swift or ball spinner or whatever. So anyway, this is the main color. And then for the little accent color, again, same brand, Fiber Seed, and this is same thing, 90% wool, 10% nylon. The sock is called Litmus, and did I say this yarn color is called Litmus? I don't know what I said. Anyway, this is what I picked out. I feel like I'm being very rambly because I haven't done this in a while. But anyway, so I started on this while I was at the Mexico airport waiting to board my flight. And here's how far I've gotten. So, I am doing things a little bit differently. On my first pair of socks, I think for the cuff I did like 12 rounds or something. This one I was trying to do 15, but I ended up doing 16 because I didn't really think about what it was going to happen when I added this other color when I was changing colors. Anyway. And then I have like less than 10 rounds done on the color. But I think it looks so good so far. I think it's a really great color combo, and I think they're gonna be really pretty when they're done. So, and Maddie was talking to me, because she went with me to the Fiber Festival thing, and she was saying how she read online how it's actually advised to not use 100% merino wool when knitting socks because I think the fibers are shorter or something, and so like it's more prone to like pilling and things like that. And so I will say, because the main difference between this yarn and the one I was knitting with is that this one has 10%, this one is 10% nylon and not 100% merino wool, and it definitely does not split as much as the other yarn did. I feel like the other yarn had to be really careful to not split the stitches, but this one is definitely, I think it has like a tighter like spin to it or something. Like the actual twist in the yarn I think is tighter, and it just overall feels more smooth, or smoother. Anyway, I don't know if any of that made sense, but I really like the colors and I'm really excited about it. That's all you really need to know, I guess. Okay, so now I'm gonna kind of sidestep into plans. So the first things first, I'm the realist, no I'm kidding. First thing, I want to work on Cam's round robin so that I'm not holding anybody up. I did just get it a few days ago, so it's like not a rush or anything, but I do want to make that a priority so that I'm not holding anybody up. And then after that, I want to focus on Haunted Library. So I figured I would show you what it looks like, just to have some more content to show you guys. But this is what mine looks like. Let's see. It's 36 count linen from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers called Queen Crepe Myrtle, and I'm stitching with all the called for DMC 2/2. And I'm really close to a finish on this one. I think it's like 75% complete or something like that. But I basically just have to do she created a monster who created a man. It's like Mary Shelley writing at a desk with Frankenstein's monster walking behind her. And then finish up the staircase. So, yeah, super close. I really would like to finish this by Halloween. That's kind of like my stretch goal, I guess. We will see how close I get to that. But I'm basically just going to be, as far as cross stitch goes, going to be focusing on the Quaker Garden round robin and then my not Halloween Quaker, Haunted Library. So anyway, and then obviously I'm just gonna stitch on my socks whenever I feel like it. I don't really have any hard plans for that. I'm not trying to get them done by a certain time or whatever. So that's more of like my chill side hobby for when I don't feel like I have enough time to work on cross stitch. So, but yeah, and that's kind of my loose plans for the next, I guess, between now and when I film next, which will hopefully be a more consistent schedule. We will see. But I think we can move on to haul now, which is just a couple things. Okay, so I have gotten my fabric of the month for September, and then I have floss of the month for October. So this is Stitch Me, and it is 36 count linen, and the color is called Boneyard. And that's what it looks like. Honestly, I feel like this looks like murky a little bit, but like lighter and way more mottled. Or I guess more of like a tight mottle. But yeah, it looks super cool. As per usual, have no idea what will go on it. But whatever it is, it'll speak to me when it happens. So, there's my fabric. And I did switch my club around for Stitch Me, so my October fabric actually should be a colorful fabric, so I'm really excited to see how that goes. And then for my floss, I'm in the Color and Cotton 3 Skein All Colors Floss Club, and these are kind of Christmassy feeling. And this is what they look like. Ooh. So we have Nutcracker Prince, Fritz, and Clara? I think it's Clara. Isn't she like the little girl in the Nutcracker? I don't know who Fritz is, though. I'm not a huge Nutcracker person, if you can't tell. But anyway, these are super pretty. Very good to add those to the floss collection. The ever-growing floss collection that I definitely do not use as much as I get the flosses in, so. But who does, right? Okay, so let's move on to media, books, TV, all that sort of stuff. That's all the stitchy, crafty stuff I had. So if that's all you came for, thank you so much. We are going to move on to just generic things I like in my life. Okay, so we'll talk about books first, and then I'll move into movies. So I'm gonna accidentally, when I pulled these books, I was like, oh, it kind of follows my old format of what I just finished, what I'm currently reading, and what I want to read next. So what I most recently finished was A Court of Mist and Fury. I actually ended up listening to this on audio. I had started reading like this actual book, but I had only gotten like maybe like this far, and it was pretty embarrassing because I really wanted to read this book, but like not getting that far into it, I wasn't sold yet, and I wasn't like super into it, you know. So thankfully my library actually had an available audiobook copy, so I didn't have to wait in line, which was awesome. So, but I did have to like finish reading this like 24-hour audiobook within 3 weeks. So, which I know sounds like, I guess to some people that might sound like a lot of time, but for me to listen to an audiobook, I really have to have the right mindset and the right environment happening. So, but needless to say, I made it work. I finished it. It was incredible. I loved it so much. Obviously, I read the first book, and I really enjoyed ACOTAR, Thorns and Roses, but ACOMAF, Mist and Fury, was just way better. it was, so now I'm really excited to read the next one, which I think is Wings and Ruin, maybe. But yeah, incredible. I just, there were just so many things that I think what I really loved about this book was how there were some things that happened in the first book that she kind of brings back and kind of gives like a different point of view of the same thing that already happened, which really sheds a lot of light on the whole situation in general. And then the other part about it that I really liked was, like, I already didn't like Tamlin, but this really just sold me on a, like, I hate Tamlin. I would wear a button that says I hate Tamlin. But yeah, anyway, it was just so good. I loved it so much. There were some unexpected things toward the end, and I'm just really excited to read/listen to the next one. So, and then what I'm reading right now is another super popular book called Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. This, as you can tell, I borrowed from the library. I was actually super surprised that so I basically just walked up into the library and was like, whatever they got, I'll take it. And they had this available, and it wasn't like a 7-day borrow, and I was like, sweet. So I'm about halfway through it, currently using my boarding pass as a bookmark. But it's such a good book. They've turned it into, I think, a TV show or maybe a movie on Apple TV Plus, and it's starring Brie Larson. Love her. So I'm excited to watch that when I'm done reading. But oh my goodness, the misogyny, the female empowerment, it is everything. I love it. I love it so much. Actually, I have a funny story about this. I was reading this on my honeymoon, and I'm like chilling in a cabana by the pool, and this really dumb guy looks at me and was like, seriously, you're reading about chemistry on your vacation? He thought this was a textbook. Are you kidding me? Like, no, you're never gonna find a chemistry textbook that looks like this. I'm sorry. And I was like, no, dude, this is a novel. So anyway, I just thought that was really funny and kind of fitting with the whole concept of this book. So anyway, it's really great. Definitely worth the hype. And then the book I want to read next is because it's spooky season. We're like almost done with October and I haven't even read a scary book. So I picked up Stephen King, Misery. I have not read this one. I've only read 2 Stephen King books previously. I do still want to read it. Don't worry, I will get to it eventually. But we're going to read Misery because it is not as big and less intimidating. So anyway, I'm actually kind of hoping for a Kindle Paperwhite for Christmas. And I will probably try to read it when I get a Paperwhite because that book is huge. I feel like it would be easier to read on a Kindle because the Kindle's really light. But anyway, basically this one is about, well, I'll just briefly read the back. Best-selling novelist Paul Sheldon has finally met his biggest fan. Her name is Annie Wilkes, and she is dismayed to discover Paul's plans to kill off Misery Chastain, the heroine of his beloved series. Annie is more than a rabid reader. She is Paul's nurse, tending his shattered body after an automobile accident. She is also his captor, imprisoning him in her isolated house where no one knows he is. Annie wants Paul to write his greatest work just for her. She has lots of ways to spur him on. One is a needle, another is an axe, and then there's the blowtorch. So anyway, this sounds really fantastic, and I know Stephen King is going to keep me on the edge of my seat and confuse me, and it's going to be great. So look forward to reading that. Hopefully I can finish up Lessons in Chemistry this weekend so that I can start Misery before October is out. But yes, so that's it for books at the moment. And then, let's see, I wanted to talk about some movies for a second. So obviously, social media has a big influence on my life choices. And one of those is choosing which movies to watch. And I had never seen When Harry Met Sally. And I had been so Instagram was like marketing all these like classy fall movies to me, and that was one of them. And I was like, you know what, let's figure out how to watch this. I think I watched on HBO Max, or I think they just call it Max Plus now or something. But yeah, why have I been living under a freaking rock? That is like one of my new favorite movies now. I loved it so much. It stars Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, and it's just about two people who like happen to run into each other and they don't really like each other, but they keep bumping into each other, and then they become friends, but really they're more than that. And it was just so good. There was about to the point in the movie where there's like about 30 minutes left. I was just like about ready to like throw something at the TV because I just wanted them to get together, and oh my gosh, it's just so good. And I'm gonna have to watch that again because I loved it. So, and then there are a few movies that I am wanting to watch that I figured I would talk about. One of them is Elemental, which is the new Disney Pixar movie. It is, I don't know if they're still playing it in theaters, but I know it's on Disney Plus now. And then another Disney movie that is also on Disney Plus now is the new Haunted Mansion movie. I really want to watch that. So I think I might try to watch those two with Bobby this weekend. And then of course the Taylor Swift concert movie is in theaters. So it came out while I was on my honeymoon, so I have not gone to see it, but you best believe I will be there. And it'll be very interesting to see kind of like who shows up in the same theater that I'm in, and if they are going to be treating it like a concert or if they're going to be treating it like a movie. So, or I could be the only one, who knows? I doubt that. But I kind of really want one of those popcorn buckets, but I'm just convinced that they don't have any, so I will just be happy if they do and I happen to get one. But I basically have been asking Bobby if he wants to see it or not, because if he doesn't, then I will go without him, but if he does, then I'll wait. So either this weekend or next weekend, we will see. So anyway, that is all I have for books and movies. So I'm gonna take a quick water break and then we will talk all things wedding. I'm so excited to tell you all about it and show you some really beautiful pictures. Okay. So first things first, I kind of want to talk about today just because, I don't know, I feel I can. That's why I can. So I woke up this morning and first of all, this is like my first week back at work. So this particular Friday, I was like, I have a long laundry list of things I need to do. And so I, made this checklist and I was going to get all the stuff done. Oh, so my main things were to get my flu shot, vote, go to Target, get my nails done, and film this video. So I will say, spoiler alert, I did manage to get all those things done. I'm currently filming the video, so things worked out. But I definitely had a rough start. I went to the Kroger by my house thinking I was going to be able to walk in and get my flu shot and get out of there and go vote, and no, it took me so long to go through the whole getting a flu shot. And like looking back, like I could have been better prepared by making an appointment, but I walked up in there and they were like telling me how they didn't have an appointment until the afternoon and I didn't want to wait, so I just decided, but they told me that I could make the appointment online, so I made an appointment online with a different Kroger that was closer to where I was running my other errands, and then showed up and I thought it was with the clinic, but it turned out it was with the pharmacy, but the pharmacy didn't take my insurance, but the clinic did, and then I had to wait like another like 30 to 45 minutes for them to be available to get my shot. And by this point I was just so fed up because this was the first thing that I was trying to tackle today and it was just going so wrong. And by the time I finally got in the little office and the nurse was giving me my flu shot, I just like started crying. The poor lady. I feel bad now, but like, because I know she's just trying to do her job and move on with her day, but no, here I am, this 27-year-old grown woman crying because things aren't going her way. So anyway, needless to say, I got my flu shot, I voted, I went to Target, I got my nails done, so it's fine. If you're wondering why I have a different colored nail, I got black because it's spooky season, and I got blue on this finger because Taylor Swift 1989 comes out next week and I'm just freaking pumped. So this is like my little tribute to Taylor Swift and spooky season. Although it kind of just looks like Reputation in 1989, but that's cool too. So anyway, okay, so let's talk wedding. I had the most perfect day. Bobby and I left, so the wedding was in Mississippi. So Bobby and I had to get all our stuff down there, and we drove. So Wednesday morning, we dropped off our animals on our way out of town, which is always so sad. I hate leaving them behind. But both of them were very well taken care of. And it's like a 11.5-hour drive from where we live down to Mississippi, where we were going. So we were in it for the long haul, and Bobby was a champ and did all the driving, even though I was fully ready to take the wheel if needed. And yeah, so we got down there with no problems. Got to hang out with my mom, dad, and then I think my sister came in the next morning. Bobby and I got our marriage license on Thursday, and then kind of just had, I think we had, my other family was coming in town, so like my cousin came in on Friday. Anyway, this is too much information. So then Friday we had the rehearsal and the rehearsal dinner, and I was such a nervous wreck on Friday. Because basically I had to get all of our stuff from my mom's house to the cabin at our wedding venue so that everything would be there by the time I was done with the rehearsal and the rehearsal dinner. So anyway, that was kind of chaos. Like, it really wasn't chaos, but in my brain was chaos because I was just so nervous about the logistics of everything. But I managed to get my stuff there, and then, because our rehearsal was supposed to start at like 4:30, I think I got all our stuff there at like 3. So I was able to get ready by myself and kind of just calm down. And then just get anxious right after that. Because then all of Bobby's family started showing up for the actual rehearsal, and I had met a lot of his family, but there was also a ton of family of his that I had not ever met. So, and I'm a very socially anxious person, so it was just a lot of new people to meet, and I was just really nervous. Definitely cried a little bit because of the nerves, but everything went fine. I had hired a coordinator, so she was there on Friday to help us figure out who was walking down the aisle, when, with who, and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, so the rehearsal went great, and then Bobby and I ended up being a smidge late for our rehearsal dinner, but it was fine because technically we weren't late because we were, you know, like the whole reason we were having a rehearsal dinner, if you will. But my now mother-in-law passed design. What is the word I'm trying to use? Planned. My mother-in-law planned the rehearsal dinner at the local Natural Science Museum, and it was incredible. When we arrived, there were some caretakers with like a barn owl to greet us when we came in, which was super cool. And then we went downstairs, and they had obviously like a place to have cocktails, and then all the dining tables were kind of like set up in like the hallways of the museum exhibits. So it was super cool. And while I'm talking, I'm gonna throw some pictures up as it's relevant. We really didn't take very many pictures at the rehearsal dinner. I kind of like hate that now, but it is what it is. And I didn't even get a picture with Bobby at our own rehearsal dinner, but it's okay. The memories are like crystal clear in my brain, so and hopefully it'll stay that way. But yeah, so anyway, it was incredible. And after that, we went back to the cabins where our wedding venue was, and we had a little after party with all the like siblings and cousins and stuff, and played Mario Kart and code names and drank some more and all that stuff. And then Saturday morning came, and we, my mom, so I had my sister as my maid of honor, and then I had my cousin as my bridesmaid. So the three of us plus my mom all had appointments to get our hair done at the salon that my mom usually goes to. But we had to drive to the salon to get our hair done instead of like them coming to the venue to do our hair. So we were told that we needed to be there 8:30. So Mary Catherine's boyfriend so kindly got us over there, me, my cousin, and my sister. And we managed to pick up Chick-fil-A and get some coffee. on the way to the salon, and I was just still so incredibly nervous, again, of the logistics of everything, because I knew everything was going to go fine. Like, my florist and coordinator had, like, are the same company, and, like, they had everything handled. It was fine. But I was still just, like, so nervous about having to leave the venue and then having to come back and make sure that I was back on time to do the other stuff that I needed to do, like steam my dress and just relax. So anyway, but I went first, got my hair done, and then as I was getting, or after my hair was done, I started to do my makeup there while my sister got her hair done. And then once my cousin got her hair finished, the three of us went back to the venue, and then my mom met us there later. And then again, I was just kind of a bundle of nerves. I was steaming my dress when the photographer arrived, and she started taking pictures of all my little details and stuff, which I'll put up here. And then my sister and my cousin, you know, got their dresses on. We're doing some finishing touches with their makeup. My mom was finishing her makeup, getting into her dress. And at that point, everybody was dressed except for me. I mean, I had my hair and my makeup done, but I wasn't in my wedding dress yet. And then it was time. And once I put that dress on, all of my worries went away. I was just like, this is real life. I'm doing this. And it was just really special. I'm going to cry now. Oh my God. It was so special. So the photographer took really beautiful pictures of my mom helping me button my dress and, you know, fluff my veil and, all that stuff. And then at that point it was time to do, first look. So I did a first look with my dad, and I did a first look with Bobby. With my dad, it was just so special. Every single thing was perfect, like even the freaking weather. But yeah, so I had my first look with my dad. It was super sweet and emotional. And then I kind of took a little break and then turned around and had my first look with Bobby, which was also super sweet and emotional. And then we took some bride and groom portraits, and then I think at that point we kind of moved into like bridal party portraits. At this point, a lot of family was starting to show up, because up next was family portraits. And so we did all of that, and then we kind of just got to chill out until it was time for the ceremony. So once it was time, the coordinator kind of led us to where we were going to be walking out. And so there was basically like this little kind of cabin bathroom thing where we hung out to walk to the, like, where the ceremony was going to be, because this is like a giant like cabin in the woods vibe kind of venue. So everything is kind of on this campus, but everything's really spread out. So it was quite a long distance from the lodge, which is where we were kind of getting ready and everything, to where the actual ceremony was. So we met at this bathroom area because that was closer to the ceremony. Anyway, I don't know how much of this is TMI. But yeah, so then my family walked down the aisle. I chose very traditional. We had a live string trio, and I chose some very traditional music for all of that, except for my song. I went a little less traditional, and I actually walked down the aisle to Wildest Dreams by Taylor Swift. I haven't watched Bridgerton, but apparently they play that song, like an instrumental version of it, in that show, and so that was the version that my string trio played. And the main girl in my string trio was actually my violin teacher from when I was in high school, so that was really special. And yeah, so it was just so incredible, and I was so nervous and excited and happy and overwhelmed with joy. And then, you know, Bobby and I wrote our own vows, and he said the most perfect things. And when I was writing my vows, I was very worried about being super rambly, and so I actually wrote my vows into a poem to kind of help me, number one, not be rambly, and number two, pace myself. So, and it came out perfect. I was so proud of it. Bobby loved it. And then we, you know, finished up the other parts of our ceremony, and our first kiss picture is actually super cool because the sun was starting to set, and the sun is literally like right on us, and it just looks so cool. And yeah, then we, you know, had our exit. We took some sunset bride and groom portraits, and then Bobby and I had a few minutes to ourselves in the lodge so that we could eat. Our caterer had like prepared like a dish, like a tray of all of our food for us so that we could eat before we went to our actual reception. And, you know, so when we went in there, we did everything pretty much right off the bat. First dance for me and Bobby, and then dance with my dad, and then Bobby's dance with his mom, and then we cut our cake and we cut the groom's cake, and then after that we kind of just partied. And there were so many people who I had invited that I have met through different walks in my life that all showed up, and it was just so special to see everybody together. And there were people who had never met each other who were in the same room together, and it was incredible to be able to see so many faces of people that I love. So yeah, it was a beautiful day. It was so beautiful. And then after that, Bobby and I got up Sunday morning, and we had to go to my parents' house to get some last minute things that they ended up taking home with them that night. And then we drove back to Ohio, and then on Monday we flew to Mexico and went to the Hilton Resort at Playa del Carmen and vacationed there for like 5 days, and then came home Saturday. So yeah, anyway, it has been quite a whirlwind of the past couple weeks, and I think it was Sunday that we kind of unwrapped all of our wedding gifts, and people were so kind and basically bought almost everything on our registry. And then we got lots of Amazon gift cards, so I'm excited to order some, planning to order thank you notes that have some of our wedding photos on them. So I'm excited to put that together. But yeah, oh my gosh, I feel like I spoke through that really fast, but hopefully I put pictures over everything so you can ooh and ah over how beautiful everything was, because I was just so excited. But yeah, it was incredible. And now I understand like what people mean by how special the day it is and everything, because like it's a moment you like wait for a very long time, and then it happens, and then you just think about it all the time because of how awesome it was. So this is definitely a core memory for me now, and if ever at any point in my lifetime there becomes, you know, like not time travel, but a way to look back on stuff and really get to experience it again, that's definitely a day that I would do that with. So it's just so perfect, and now I'm married to my best friend. I love it. I'm so excited. And it was great when we finally got home and got the animals back too, because we were able to pick up Wilson on Sunday, but I wasn't able to get Piper back until Monday. And so once all four of us were together again, I was just like, oh, my family's together again. So yeah, anyway. Okay, my mouth is dry now from all the talking, and I think it might be time to sign off. But let's see. Let me recollect my thoughts. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know it's been quite a while since my last update, so I really appreciate you tuning back in. And hopefully I will be on a more consistent film schedule now that I don't have a wedding to plan. I'm really looking, I know the holiday season is coming upon us, so that naturally makes things feel busy too, but I'm excited to just kind of mellow out and get back to my normal routines and focus on some other stuff that I've been wanting to do and I just haven't had time. All right, So if you enjoyed today's content and you want to stick around for more, you can always subscribe and like this video. You can hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when I post. You can follow me on Instagram at Frizzy Lizzie Stitches. And I also have a Buy Me a Coffee. So if any coffees that you buy me will be put towards content for the channel. So yeah, anyway, I hope to see you guys next time, hopefully in 2 weeks. And I will see you next time. Bye!